Chapter 321. Heavenly Sword Secret Realm. After Yu-Tian came in, he felt all kinds of blade energy in the air. It was like a world of blades. After the warriors came in, they flew toward the center of the Heavenly Sword Secret Realm one by one, and Yu-Tian naturally flew over too. In addition to the Heavenly Sword Tablet, there were no other treasures in the Heavenly Sword Secret Realm, and it would be a waste of time to go to other places. Soon, Yu-Tian came to the Heavenly Sword Monument. The Heavenly Sword Tablet was very large, about 1 kilometer high, and the roots went straight into the earth. The entire Heavenly Sword Tablet seemed to be connected with the entire Heavenly Sword Secret Realm, and it was almost impossible to move it half a step. Because of this, the Heavenly Sword Tablet was very difficult to take away. Even if they could take it, other warriors wouldn't dare to. The Heavenly Sword Secret Realm does not limit the strength of the martial artists. Even if it is beyond the true God level, it can also step into the Heavenly Sword Secret Realm. Who dares to guarantee that there is no existence beyond the true God in the Heavenly Sword Secret Realm? Moreover, beyond the existence of the true God, even if it is not in the Heavenly Sword Secret Realm, as long as a wisp of divine consciousness is concerned here, once it is found that someone dares to steal the Heavenly Sword Tablet, it would not be difficult to suppress it in the air. Therefore, no one dared to fight the idea of the Heavenly Sword Monument, and neither did those true gods. At this time, near the Heavenly Sword Tablet, a group of martial artists sat cross-legged and began to comprehend the Tao realm with the help of the Heavenly Sword Tablet. But Yu-Tian did not immediately come to his senses. Instead, he left silently, away from here. He was going to find a place to first fuse the 2 Huihui level blade skills he had just copied, so as to transform his blade skills. Fusion. The Huihui level blade talent began to merge with Yu-Tian's own Huihui level blade talent. 10 minutes passed, and the fusion was successful. As Yu-Tian expected, it was almost difficult to raise the Huihui level blade talent to the Shiri level blade talent by only fusing one Huihui level blade talent, but he had also copied another Huihui level blade talent. He continued to merge. Rumble. As soon as it merged, the transformation began. Yu-Tian endured the pain, and time passed little by little. After a long time, Yu-Tian finally completed the transformation. Check. Blade talent. Dawn Sun. By fusing other people's Huihui level blade talents, Yu-Tian finally completed the transformation, allowing his Huihui level blade talent to transform into a Shiri level blade talent. After resting for half an hour, Yu-Tian hurriedly returned to the Heavenly Sword Monument. Yu-Tian's departure and return did not arouse the suspicion of others. In the eyes of others, Yu-Tian probably came to the Heavenly Sword Secret Realm for the first time and was more curious about the Heavenly Sword Secret Realm, just looking around to see if there were any other opportunities. But since he didn't find any, he came back. But they never expected that Yu-Tian would hide and fuse his talent. Let's start enlightenment. Yu-Tian found a stone, sat on it, and began to comprehend the Tao of the blade with the help of the Heavenly Sword Tablet. Rumble. Countless feelings came to his heart, and he realized the perception of a kind of blade one by one. The sunrise level blade talent made his perception of the blade much faster, and this was the reason why he didn't want to open the top comprehension talent. Unlock the top perceptual talent. In an instant, Yu-Tian's comprehension suddenly increased by 20 times, coupled with his own comprehension that surpassed that of the same level, as well as the Shiri level blade talent. The effect increase brought by this was against the sky. And Yu-Tian was still not satisfied with this. Time talent, 10 times faster time. Yu-Tian only wrapped the time acceleration ability around himself, so that others could not perceive the changes in time. Originally, Yu-Tian's blade realm had not reached 3 into 5. It was only because he happened to learn the God-level blade technique of Starry Sky Annihilation, which involved space, that he learned the God-level blade skill. After these days of occasional enlightenment, his blade realm had barely stepped into the realm of 3 into 1. But now, he felt that he would soon be able to reach the realm of 3 into 2, and the Heavenly Sword Tablet was too much of a help for the realm of the Tao of Enlightenment. The next day, Yu-Tian successfully comprehended the Tao realm to 3 into 2. On the third day, 3 into 3 realms. On the fourth day, 3 into 4 realms. On the fifth day, 3 into 5 realms. On the seventh day, 3 into 6 realms. Compared with Yu-Tian's amazing comprehension speed, the comprehension speed of others was much slower. Even the ascension speed of Tianzhao was not fast. After all, compared with Yutian, their advantage was too much worse. On the 18th day, Yutian's Dao realm leapt into the realm of 40%. The Dao of the Blade Dao can be cultivated to the entry level in 3 into 5 realms, and the 40% realm is enough to cultivate a god-level blade skill to the Shaocheng realm. And for Yutian, the meaning was different. The Starry Sky Annihilation, this god-level blade skill, is a god-level blade skill involving space, and the 4-level blade path realm is enough to cultivate it to the Dacheng realm. How terrifying its amplification effect is! It can be said that once the Starry Sky Annihilation has been cultivated to Dacheng, Yutian's combat power can immediately step into the level of the 2-star Tianzhao. Keep going! Yutian's mind was once again immersed in the world of the Dao, and he frantically absorbed the various insights of the Dao. With the help of the Heavenly Sword Steel, the top-level comprehension talent, the time talent, and the Shiri-level blade talent, Yutianshan couldn't have realized the Dao of the blade too easily. 1 month of cultivation and enlightenment may be worth thousands of years of uninterrupted enlightenment for other people. In the blink of an eye, another 10 days had passed, and Yutian had comprehended the realm of the Dao of the blade to 4 into 3. The further he went, the more difficult it was, and it was already very rare to be able to comprehend 40 into 3. There were still 2 days left, and with Yutian's current speed of comprehension, it was difficult to raise the Dao realm to 4 into 4. So Yutian gave up comprehending the Dao realm and instead went to comprehend the god-level blade technique, Starry Sky Annihilation. With the help of the Heavenly Sword Steel, you can also comprehend the blade technique, and the effect is also very good. 2 days passed in the blink of an eye, and Yutian had comprehended the god-level blade technique of Starry Sky Annihilation to an extremely deep level. After he went back, he only needed to use it a lot to advance Starry Sky Annihilation to the Dacheng realm. It's time, everyone, leave the Heavenly Sword Secret Realm. A voice resounded throughout the Heavenly Sword Secret Realm. A group of martial artists stopped cultivating, and a reluctant emotion appeared on their faces. Everyone wanted to continue to comprehend the Heavenly Sword Tablet in the Heavenly Sword Secret Realm, but this obviously couldn't happen. 1 month is the limit, and no one has special permissions. Yutian opened his eyes, and a look of pity appeared on his face. If he was given enough time, he would even be able to advance the Dao realm to the 45 realm, and in that case, he would be able to reach the consummation realm. However, he also had to leave and could only wait for the next Heavenly Sword Secret Realm to open. Whoosh! Yitian flew away, passed through the bronze giant gate after a while, and returned to the outside world. At this time, Lei Mingtianzhao stopped Yu Tianzhao. Wenfa, Tianzhao, please stay. Thunder shouted. Thundering, Tianzhao, what's the matter? Yu Tian was puzzled. Wenfa, Tianzhao, I found a ruin somewhere in the galaxy, and I was about to invite a few Tianzhao to investigate together. It is said to be the dojo of a true god in ancient times. Maybe there are a lot of good things. Do you want to go? I'm sorry, I'm not interested. Yi Tian immediately refused. He was not familiar with Lei Ming Tianzhao, and if Lei Ming Tianzhao tricked him, he didn't know. Besides, he only had more than 3 years left to return to Earth, and it was impossible for him to go around in the universe, in case he was trapped in a certain ruin, causing him to miss the opening of the Earth metaverse. It would be fatal. If you're going, contact me in the virtual world. Thundering, Tianzhao said again. Yi Tian dealt with it casually, turned around, and left. Lei Mingtian looked at the direction of Yi Tian's departure, and his eyes slowly became indifferent. HMPH. I really don't know what's good for him. Whoosh! Fengshu, Tianzhao, came to Thundering, Tianzhao, and said with a smile, What? You want to trick Wanfa, Tianzhao? Last time you went with 3, Tianzhao, you were the only one who came back, and you were still seriously injured, and you still want to go in? If we don't accompany you, you will fool the newcomer, so if the newcomer knows, you will have a grudge. The wind is empty and arrogant. If you don't go, don't make trouble. Thunder, Tianzhao, snorted coldly. He did have the suspicion of trapping others, but the ruins were too dangerous, and if he went alone, he would undoubtedly be sent to his death. More people could resist some dangers for him. And he had a complete map, but the others didn't, so the chance of death was naturally greater. Tianzhao, tricking, Tianzhao. This is a very normal thing. It's a pity that Yi Tian was too shrewd to go at all. However, what Lei Ming, Tianzhao, didn't know was that Yi Tianzhao, who was far away, glanced back and sneered, "Lei Ming, Tianzhao, seems to want to trick me." From him, I used my talent for good and evil to feel a faint malice. Originally, I wouldn't have gone, but I felt your malice, and it was even more impossible to go. So I had to stay away from this guy in the future. Taking the Red River Giant City teleportation array, Yi Tian quickly returned to Qinfeng Giant City's home. Chapter 322. Half a month later, Yi Tian used half a month to completely cultivate the god-level blade technique, Starry Sky Annihilation, to the Dacheng realm, and its power was much stronger than before. In the dark, Yi Tian felt that his strength had broken a limit, and he almost had the strength of a 2-star, Tianzhao. As for whether it had been reached, he was ready to enter the Tianzhao Tower to verify it. Tianzhao Pavilion Virtual World. Yi Tian came in through the Tianzhao ring and immediately applied to break into the Tianzhao Tower. The first floor of Tianzhao Tower. Yi Tian came here and quickly ran into an opponent. This was a martial artist wearing golden armor. In fact, he was not a real martial artist, but a virtual character, but his strength was second only to the 2-star, Tianzhao. As long as he defeated him, he would have the strength of the 2-star, Tianzhao. Fight! An amazing battle broke out. Facing the opponent on the first layer of Tianzhao Tower, Yi Tian basically displayed his other combat talents in addition to his soul attack talent and time talent. He even used his ability to escape into space, and he dodged many deadly attacks with this ability. In the half-hour-long battle, Yi Tian finally won the victory by injuring his opponent again and again with the help of the Starry Sky. Of course, Yi Tian himself had been injured many times, but he had recovered from his injuries with his life talent and healing talent. Otherwise, he would really have been defeated. When the opponent was killed and Yi Tian broke through the first layer, the voice of the Tianzhao Tower instrument spirit came. "Wanfa, Tianzhao, congratulations on breaking through the first layer and gaining 100 points. Breaking through the first layer of Tianzhao Tower to get 100 points. Such a reward was very high. Originally, he only had 70 points left, and now he suddenly had 170 points, which was a big increase in points. And as Yi Tian broke through the first layer of Tianzhao Tower and had the strength of a 2-star, Tianzhao, his ranking on the Yinyu Star, Tianzhao, list soared all of a sudden. Wanfa, Tianzhao, 182nd on the Tianzhao list. Originally, he was ranked 311th on the Tianzhao list, but he crossed more than 100 at once and came directly to the 182nd place on the Tianzhao list, which showed that many Tianzhao were basically 1-star Tianzhao. It is very difficult for Tianzhao's strength to improve, and many Tianzhao have never been able to be promoted to 2-star Tianzhao, and finally they are desperate, and they have no choice but to impact the god level, which is also the fate of most Tianzhao. And Yi Tian, in a short period of time, stepped from a 1-star Tianzhao to a 2-star Tianzhao, and this news immediately spread throughout the Yinyu Xingtianzhao circle. Somewhere in the Heavenly War continent, Lei Ming, Tianzhao, got the news from his friend, entered the virtual world of Tianzhao Pavilion, and saw Yi Tian's ranking, and immediately couldn't believe it. What? Wanfa, Tianzhao, has become a 2-star Tianzhao. He was amazed. How long has Wanfa, Tianzhao, been at Tianzhao? He was still in the 311th place before, and now he has suddenly stepped into the 182nd place. At this speed, won't he soon surpass him? Is his talent really that good? Lei Ming, Tianzhao, was completely jealous. Not only was Lei Ming, Tianzhao, jealous, but many Tianzhao, who had not been able to improve their combat power for many years, were also jealous. Qinfeng Giant City, City Lord's Mansion. The Purple Wheel God has been sending people to pay attention to the situation of Tianzhao Pavilion, especially the situation of Yi Tian. After all, the more outstanding Yi Tian is, the more benefits Qinfeng Giant City will naturally have. This day, a piece of news from the upper layer of Yinyu Star surprised the Purple Wheel God. What? Wanfa, Tianzhao, has become a 2-star Tianzhao, ranking 182nd on the Tianzhao list. The purple wheel god knew what this meant, which meant that the potential of Wanfa, Tianzhao, was too great, and in such a short period of time, from a 1-star, Tianzhao, to a 2-star, Tianzhao, how many Tianzhao in the entire Yinyu star could do it? I have long guessed that Wanfa, Tianzhao, has great potential and high talent. This time I really bet right. Ha ha ha, the purple wheel god said excitedly. The stronger Yi Tian was, the more benefits Qin Feng Giant City would have. How could he not be excited? While everyone was envious, jealous, and surprised, Yi Tian was shopping in the Points Mall, and he was about to buy a god-level blade technique. Although the starry sky is very good, such a move is not easy to use, because the starry sky shatters with one move, and when there are many people, it is inconvenient to cast it on one person alone. Therefore, he wanted to buy a single attack blade technique. The price of Tianzhao Pavilion's god-level blade skills is not high. After all, in order to cultivate Tianzhao, it is just a little inheritance, so naturally it doesn't cost many points. The price of a god-level blade skill is between 10 points and 50 points, but few Tianzhao people buy god-level blade skills and god-level sword skills, because points are difficult to obtain, and secret skills such as god-level blade skills can be obtained from the forces behind them. But Yi Tian didn't have any power to rely on. In order to enhance his strength in a short time, he could only obtain god-level blade skills from Tianzhao Pavilion. Anyway, the points were all given by Tianzhao Pavilion, and he didn't pay any price. He was not too distressed. Clicking on the god-level blade skills column of the Points Mall, a blade skill appeared in his sight. Butterfly blade technique. It's too fancy. This blade skill is suitable for women, not for me. Thousand split slash. Although it is a single attack god-level blade skill, this blade skill also focuses on destruction, and the scope of the impact is too large, so it is not suitable. Yi Tian clicked on the introduction of a god-level blade technique, but he was not satisfied. Suddenly, the introduction of a god-level blade technique attracted him. The Ghost Blade, an unpredictable blade, cut out of nothingness. It's almost invisible. The power is only 80% of the normal god-level blade skills, but the speed is twice that of the usual blade skills, and it takes 50 points to exchange. Seeing this blade skill, Yi Tian's heart moved. There was no doubt that the Ghost Blade suited him too well. And if he escaped into the void and then used this Ghost Blade, it would be truly unpredictable, and it would be of great help to his strength. That's it. Yi Tian purchased a god-level blade technique, the Ghost Blade. When he clicked to buy, 50 points were deducted from his account. Similarly, the Ghost Blade technique still wanted him to go to the Tianzhao Pavilion branch to get it. Yi Tian left the virtual world, and then set off for the Tianzhao Pavilion branch, and after a while, he came to the Tianzhao Pavilion branch and took the inheritance bead of the Ghost Blade. After coming back, Yi Tian began to cultivate the Ghost Blade. I have to say that the Ghost Blade is more difficult to cultivate than ordinary god-level blade skills. It took him 7 or 8 days before he really introduced the god-level blade technique, the Ghost Blade cultivation, which was still his Shiri-level blade talent and a 20-fold increase in comprehension. In other words, ordinary Tianzhao couldn't enter the door for half a year. Tianzhao Pavilion Virtual World. In a virtual training ground, Yi Tian faced a big mountain and waved the blade in his hand lightly. Swish! Silently, a majestic mountain peak thousands of miles away was cut in half. The speed is so fast, almost silent. If the 9-star Emperor level faces my move, I'm afraid I will be cut off without even noticing. I'm afraid that just an introductory Ghost Blade is enough to rival the deterrent power of some Shaocheng god-level blade skills. Yi Tian commented. He kept practicing. Yi Tian cultivated the Ghost Blade day by day, and almost gave up on other aspects of cultivation. So the progress of the Ghost Blade was very fast. A month later, the Ghost Blade was cultivated by Yi Tian to the Shaocheng realm. At this point, Yi Tian had no way to continue cultivating. 30 into 5 blade realms can only cultivate god-level blade skills to the beginning. 40% blade realm is enough to cultivate god-level blade realms to small ones, and Yi Tian's current blade realm is only 4 into 3. It is better to cultivate a god-level blade technique to the Dacheng realm. As for the Starry Sky Annihilation, it was a god-level blade technique involving space, and Yi Tiankai was able to break the limit and cultivate it to the Dacheng realm. The attack power of the Ghost Blade in the Xiaocheng realm is indeed not as good as that of the Starry Sky, but the Starry Sky is easy to be defended, and the Ghost Blade is unpredictable, and it is really not easy to be defended. As a result, the enemy is more afraid of the Ghost Blade than the Starry Sky. The God-level blade technique, the Ghost Blade, has been practiced to Xiaocheng, and Yi Tian's current strength is not too weak among the 2-star Tianzhao. In addition, his current 7-star defense secret technique, the Xuanlin Turtle secret technique, has also been cultivated by him to the consummation level. He wants a more advanced defense secret skill, and Tianzhao Pavilion has a more advanced defense secret skill. So, Yi Tian was going to buy a defensive secret technique. Chapter 323. In the Tianzhao Pavilion Points Mall, there are many defense secret skills, and even the 9-star Yuan Force defense secret skills are also available. But as soon as Yi Tian saw those 9-star defense secret techniques, he shook his head and gave up his plan to buy them. Each 9-star Yuan Force defense secret technique must have at least 500 points or more, and Yi Tian couldn't even afford the most useless 9-star Yuan Force defense secret technique. His goal was the 8-star Yuan Force defense secret technique. However, although the 8-star Yuan Force defense secret technique is better than the 7-star Yuan Force defense secret skill, it is not much better, and the gap between the 7 stars and the 8 stars is not that big. But Yi Tian still had to buy an 8-star Yuan Force defense secret technique, and it was a relatively special 8-star defense secret skill. Normal Yuan Force defense secret techniques can only defend themselves and attach themselves to their own bodies, but some special Yuan Force defense secret skills can protect an area and protect many people. Yi Tian looked around in the column of Yuanli defense secret technique and took a fancy to an 8-star defense secret skill. Eightfold Realm. The Eightfold Realm is based on the Yuan Force, forming an eightfold barrier in the outside world. The eightfold barrier is superimposed into a solid barrier. The defense power is very amazing. The best defense range is a radius of 100 meters. If the defense circle is expanded, the defense power will be weakened. But he had to say that the secret technique of the 8 realms was very useful. Yi Tian bought the Eightfold Realm, a Yuan Force defense secret technique, and spent 60 points, which was more expensive than a god-level blade skill. But considering that such a defense secret skill was very rare, it was not surprising. Subsequently, Yi Tian went to the Tianzhao Pavilion branch, took the Eightfold Realm inheritance bead, and after coming back, he began to cultivate the Eightfold Realm. It took a month. Yi Tian used his top-level comprehension talent to successfully cultivate the Eightfold Realm to the Xiaocheng realm, and then temporarily stopped cultivating. According to Yi Tian's current situation, if he wants to impact the 3-star Tianzhao level, he must improve his cultivation to the 16th physical limit, or cultivate to a higher level of blade skills. But the progress of the Blade Realm cannot be achieved in a moment, and he cannot be in a hurry. Moreover, although Tianzhao Pavilion has a blade skill that surpasses the god level, his points are not enough to buy it, so there is no need to consider this. As for the god level strength talent, it is also difficult to improve. Since joining Tianzhao Pavilion, he has also learned a lot of things from Tianzhao Pavilion and knows the secrets of talent. Some talents can't be improved all the time, and they can't even be fused. For example, the top comprehension talent. The top is its limit, and the top soul transfer talent is also its limit. And the god-level strength talent is also his limit, and there is almost no way to continue to improve, and the Aurora talent is almost equivalent to the limit of the speed talent. Only the talent of blade technique. He is far from reaching the limit, and there is space and time. These two supreme talents are far from the limit, and they can be improved infinitely. In short, some talents have a lot of potential, and some have no potential. Yi Tian currently has no hope of quickly improving his strength from his talent, unless he is lucky enough to encounter creatures with very high time and space talents, and copy their time and space talents. Otherwise, he can't expect to ascend to the sky in one step. The next goal is to break the 16th physical limit, but the resources are not easy to get. Yi Tian fell into sorrow. Not only did he want to get resources, but he also wanted to get some points so that he could prepare for the purchase of blade skills and claw skills that surpass the god level in the future. There are too many good things in Tianzhao Pavilion, but the points are too difficult to get. The Ghost Blade cost him 50 points. The Eightfold Realm cost him 60 points. He only has 60 points now when he still has 170 points. 60 points can only be used to go to the Heavenly Sword secret realm twice, and he can't even buy a decent good inheritance. This day, Yi Tian came to the Tianzhao Pavilion branch. Machine Spirit, Yi Tian shouted, and the Machine Spirit appeared. Machine Spirit, I want to ask, if the Tianzhao have no power to rely on, how can they quickly accumulate resources? Yi Tian asked. The Machine Spirit replied, some great opportunity lands will give birth to a lot of resources, but they have not been opened with great chance treasure lands recently. I suggest that you take on some quests, some of which not only earn a lot of points, but also a lot of resources. Mission? Yi Tian knew this, but he didn't pay much attention to it. Machine Spirit, is there a suitable task at the moment? Yi Tian asked. Look at these. With a wave of his hand, a bunch of tasks were presented in front of Yi Tian in the form of a virtual frame. Yi Tian looked at these tasks and quickly finished reading them. Most of the tasks were useless, time-consuming, and had little access to resources. But there was a task that piqued Yi Tian's interest. Capture mission. Capture the 6th-level wanted criminal of the Milky Way Black-Winged Silver Emperor Chong Feng. Life or death. Complete the task to get 300 points. Underneath this quest, there was also an introduction to this quest. The Black-Winged Silver Emperor is a 9-star Emperor level. He is very powerful and good at camouflage and various escape talents, which makes him very difficult to capture. And the information showed that the Black-Winged Silver Emperor was a thief and his reputation was very bad. Now, the other party was in a planetary world. As long as he entered that planetary world to find the other party, he could be captured. But there was no way to find him, because the other party's disguise talent was very powerful, and there was a treasure on his body that could hide his cultivation, so it would be seamless. The Black-Winged Silver Emperor is a big thief. There should be a lot of treasures on him. If you kill him, you can get the other party's property. Not only can I complete the task, but I can also harvest a lot of resources. This task is not bad. Yi Tian thought to himself. Machine Spirit, I'm going to take on the task of capturing the Black-Winged Silver Emperor. Yi Tian pointed to the taskbar to capture the Black-Winged Silver Emperor and said. Suddenly, why does Tianzhao Pavilion have such a capture mission? Yi Tian was a little curious and asked. The Machine Spirit replied, the reason why Tianzhao Pavilion has such a mission is that it was issued by a true god, and it has paid a huge price. Not only Yinyu Star Tianzhao Pavilion has such a mission, but many big forces in the galaxy have this task. But so far, no one has found the other party, and the other party has changed many planets. This time, it was a god-level deduction who was good at deduction talent until he entered the Blue River Star, and he survived very quickly, and the other party left the Blue River Star. Wanfa, Tianzhao, this task is very difficult to complete, and I don't recommend you to take it. I'll take this task. Yi Tian was very sure. Other Tianzhao may not take on this task, but he was not afraid. He had a talent for copying. Even if others disguised themselves, they couldn't escape his detection, and he had a great hope of finding the Black-Winged Silver Emperor. Wanfa, Tianzhao, are you sure you want to take this task? Once you take the task, if the mission fails, you will not be allowed to take the task again for 1 year. Sure to take this mission, Yi Tian affirmed. Then, the Machine Spirit began to handle the task collection procedures for Yi Tian. After the formalities were completed, Yi Tian left with the task voucher. Since the mission location was not in Yinyu Star, Yi Tian must leave Yinyu Star and enter the Blue River Star in the Milky Way 9-wheel galaxy. Blue River Star was the planet where the Black-Winged Silver Emperor was hiding this time. Before leaving, Yi Tian specially checked the situation of the Blue River Star and found that this Blue River Star was not simple. This was a very prosperous planet, even a transit planet for many galaxies. Blue River Star was not small, equivalent to the size of Jupiter in the solar system, and it was also a high-level planet world. But this planet did not prosper martial arts. Instead, it thrived on technology, and many of the technologies on it could even threaten Emperor-level powerhouses. Yi Tian took the teleportation array of the main city of the Heavenly War directly to the spaceport of Yinyu Star, and then set off on the spaceship. 5 days later, Yi Tian finally came to the 9-wheels galaxy. Chapter 324. 9-wheel galaxy. After Yi Tian transferred several times, he took a spaceship flight to Blue River Star. He took a very ordinary flight, and the speed was not fast. It took about an hour to reach Blue River Star. The interior of the spaceship was somewhat similar to the plane in his previous life, with seats and a large number of people, but the spaceship had a lot of space, so it did not look crowded. Due to time problems, Yutien didn't bother to book a spaceship private room and directly booked a seat in the hall, which was a seat by the spaceship window. Next to him was a little girl, about 10 years old. Yutien took a look at her with his copying talent. This little girl's talent was good, and she had a Shiri-level cultivation talent, but the other party was too young and had not yet started cultivating. "Big brother, are you going to Blue River Star?" the little girl asked suddenly. "Yes," Yutien replied. "Big brother, my name is Xiaoming, and I'm also going to Blue River Star. I used to go to school somewhere else, but now I'm going to school at Blue River, and my parents both work at Blue River," the little girl said in a very innocent tone. Yutien chatted with the little girl Xiaoming for a while. Although many of the questions asked by the little girl were very simple and innocent, Yutien was not impatient at all. He found the feeling of innocence in the past. Sitting on the other side of Xiaoming was her grandfather. Her grandfather was also a martial artist. His strength was not weak, and he was a saint-level cultivator. From the chat, he knew that Xiaoming was not a person from Blue River Star, but a resident of a planet in the Nine-Wheel Galaxy. Because his parents worked in a large company in Blue River Star and bought a real estate, they let his grandfather and grandson live in the past. Compared with smaller planets, Blue River Star naturally had a good development prospect, and the inhabitants of ordinary small planets would be like that for a lifetime, with almost no future. Even if they had good talents, they had no way to become a strong person because they had no resources. Because of this, humans on many small planets in the galaxy were trying to squeeze into powerful planets. This was like some rural people in his previous life desperately running to the city, buying real estate, and sending their children to school in the city. The reason between the two was similar, and a big planet like Blue River Star indeed had good development prospects and had the opportunity to get better development. "This friend, my granddaughter, is a little curious, and she talks a little too much. Please don't mind," Xiaomeng's grandfather said. "Sorry. Your granddaughter is so cute. How can I be angry?" Yutien smiled slightly, telling the other party not to worry. The reason why Xiaomeng's grandfather was worried was because he knew Yutien's cultivation and that he was an emperor level. Although he didn't know what his specific strength was, an emperor level was definitely not something that their grandfather and grandson could provoke. There were some emperors with strange tempers, and asking a few words casually would cause the other party to resist. He was also afraid that Yutien would have a bad temper, so he said it. Now, Yutien said this, and he knew that Yutien would not dislike his granddaughter, and he was suddenly relieved in his heart. Half an hour later, the spaceship came under a starry sky and flew at 1/10 of the speed of light. Because it was flying within a galaxy, not shuttling through one galaxy, the spacecraft could not travel through space in a galaxy, which was one of the traffic rules of the Milky Way spacecraft. Only long-term routes, which needed to cross many galaxies, would open space shuttles and shuttle galaxies. In addition, it was not cost-effective to use space shuttles for flights within a galaxy, because if you open space shuttles, the energy consumed is too high, and the ticket price cannot offset the energy cost. The spaceship was actually flying very fast, much faster than the speed of many god-level rushes. The spaceship, which was originally flying at a constant speed, suddenly became so shocked that many people couldn't sit steadily. Then, many people inside the spacecraft panicked. "It can't be a meteorite, right? Even if you hit a small meteorite, it's okay. There is a defensive formation on the spaceship, and the material of the entire spaceship is also very strong, enough to smash the small meteorite, but the spaceship itself will not be injured or damaged. Unless it hits a big meteorite, but the spacecraft has an automatic avoidance program, how can it hit a big meteorite? Could it be that the system is wrong? How do I feel that the faces of those staff members of the spaceship have changed? Could it be that something is wrong?" Many people panicked. If it weren't for the fact that they couldn't get off the boat in the starry sky of the universe, they would all be clamoring to get off the ship and refund their tickets. "Grandpa, I'm scared." Xiaomeng pulled her grandfather's clothes and said nervously. Xiaomeng's grandfather also had a solemn face. As a saint level, he naturally knew that he had not hit a meteorite just now, but had been attacked. Boom! 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 The spaceship was attacked again, and the ship began to take damage, and its speed became slower and slower. Ultimately, the spaceship was forced to stop in the starry sky, but it couldn't actually stop because the front was completely blocked. Whoosh! Small spaceships poured out and surrounded the passenger spaceship. It's a space pirate. Xiao Meng's grandfather's divine sense extended out, and when he saw the situation in the outside world, his face suddenly changed, and the other warriors in the cabin also discovered the situation. Grandpa, are the space pirates those man-eating monsters in the stories you told me before? Xiao Meng is so scared. Xiao Meng's big eyes had already shed tears, obviously scared by the space pirates. Xiao Meng, don't be afraid. This spaceship has an escort team, and it will definitely be able to deal with this group of pirates. Xiao Meng's grandfather comforted her. Outside the spaceship, in the starry sky, 10 Emperor-level guards and hundreds of Saint-level guards accompanying the spaceship walked out, staring at the small spaceships around them. This is a spaceship under the command of Chiron Company. Please give me face. The chief of the guards spoke. What is Chiron Corporation? Brothers, kill these guards. Remember not to blow up the spaceship, otherwise we won't be able to rob it. One of the pirate leaders ordered. Rumble. One attack after another blasted over, and dense attacks covered the starry sky. Up, the captain of the guard gave an order and rushed forward. In the starry sky, the battle began. At first, these Emperor-level guards resisted the artillery attacks of those small spaceships, but suddenly a pillar of electricity blasted in, directly blasting an Emperor-level into slag. Oh no, it's a star-class plasma railgun. The other guards were terrified. This was a powerful Emperor-level attack that could destroy it in one blow. Unless it was an Emperor level of 3 stars or above, it could barely compete with such a star-level plasma railgun. Such a powerful technological weapon was not available to ordinary space pirates. This time, it was not an ordinary small universe pirate group that came to rob, but a relatively powerful space pirate group. The other guards did not dare to attack and fled in other directions but were quickly locked and killed by the star-class plasma railgun. Come on, blast this spaceship out of the hole. The pirate leader ordered. The star-class plasma railgun was aimed at the spaceship, and a column of electricity blasted over. That's when it happened. An enchantment protected the spaceship. Boom! The column slammed into the barrier, and the spaceship was unscathed. Leave, live. Otherwise, die. A voice filled the starry sky. HMPH, who is playing tricks? Come on, all the star-level plasma railguns are aimed at this spaceship. I don't believe this defense can still be stopped, said the cosmic pirate leader angrily. Boom! 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 Columns of electricity roared in, and just as they were about to hit the spaceship, a spatial fluctuation dispersed. In a flash, space froze, and the attacks of those plasma railguns were frozen in the starry sky. At this moment, everyone was dumbfounded. In the cabin, Yi Tian stood up from his seat, his body moved, and he left the cabin of the spaceship and came to the starry sky outside. Xiao Meng's grandfather was stunned.